Good morning, everybody. This is Kim Danke coming to you live on this Thursday morning, April 21st, 2022, and we are 111 days into the 2022 edition of the Game of Life, and I hope that you are playing along with me. I had to move that out a little bit. That was a little close. When you hop on here this morning, please say good morning, where you're watching from, and what type of Shebolath day you're going to have today. I am planning on an intermittent fasting perfect day. And yesterday, I did not end up with an intermittent fasting perfect day. I didn't even end up with a perfect day. I ended up with a holiday. And I tried to figure out why, because, I go to a lot of luncheons and I went prepared with my oatmeal protein pie. But I had never been to this luncheon before. It was extremely small, and I just they brought to the table chicken shawarma. I guess that's how you say it. I haven't heard the word shawarma but one time in my life, and that was this past year. And then I saw it written on my food yesterday, and I thought, I don't even know what that is. But anyway, I ate the chicken off the top of the rice, and the chicken was very good. I picked at the lettuce and cucumbers, and it was, lettuce and cucumbers. And then I wanted the baklava that they had put out there for me to eat. I mean, I don't get baklava very often. I thought, well, you know what? We'll have some baklava. It'd be okay. Call it a holiday. You have an extra one. Just don't hog trough. Somehow, I just lead into, then I better had eat the chips and all the stuff that you want. And I did not write it before I bite it, which could have helped slow me down. So anyway, I did not have a perfect day yesterday, ended up with a holiday. I will still be within my guidelines, but sometimes when you do that, you're ready to cut off future holidays. In fact, I was like, I am not going to holiday this weekend. I am not going to, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I always lock it in when the time comes. But I made a note in my calendar for May 1st to put me back to weight loss mode, to encourage me to have up to 6 holidays in a calendar month, not up to 12. So on May 1st, I'm going to switch that back, and I'm going to try that out and see how that goes and everything. But when you hop on here this morning, let us know how you are doing. The thing that I'm going to go over today is just a few more notes that I pulled out of the Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And then I'm going to end with an observation that I made last night as I was continuing to study more of a different workbook that the same author has put out. And that's why I titled today's Shibby Show, Make Observations. You need to make those observations. One of my observations in the beginning of Shebolath was that when I ate 2 eggs, an entire 100-calorie English muffin, and a slice of cheese, like a little egg sandwich, I was too full. Well, my observation was that I was too full. Later on in the day, my mind said, well, why don't you just have half of that English muffin? And that makes sense. Then I actually am saving money, and I'm not too full on my own account. So I had half the English muffin. It's funny how that little food can make us full, but when we're going on a hog trough day, the stomach seems to expand to immense levels. But I make those observations, and I made another one I'm going to point out to you tonight. So, and the other thing I want to start off today's devotions this morning with is that we have a low knowledge to application ratio. And not just you and me, but the world in general. We have a ton of information at our fingertips. And I think that it's that we have so much information at our fingertips that sometimes we're paralyzed by how much information is out there, and then we act in doing nothing. So we love to take in the info, but we don't ever do anything. I've always been an applier, and I'm thankful for that. But even when you're an applier, you have to continually practice application or change things up. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. So when we're learning things, don't just learn things for the heck of it. Learn the things that are going to apply to the priorities in your life, and then put those into play. Okay, so a couple of notes that I wrote down. Hidden in plain sight in this invitation of Jesus is what Dallas Willard, he's he's passed on now, but modern philosopher, called the secret of the easy yoke. The secret involves living as Jesus lived in his entirety of his life, adopting his overall lifestyle. So if you want to live like Jesus lived, you have to adopt his lifestyle. Just take his life as a template for your own. Take on his habits and practices. As an apprentice, copy his every move. After all, that's the whole point of apprenticeship. And one of the things that the author of this book, John Mark Comer, said is that he reads a biography each summer when he goes on vacation. But he was saying that the point of reading a biography is often that you want to be like that person, or you want to not make the same mistakes that person did. So you're trying to learn from a person's life and be able to emulate. Well, that's what you want to do, is take the life of Jesus for your own, his habits, his practices, and apprentice, copy his every move. After all, that's the whole point of apprenticeship, and that's what this guy, John Mark Comer, calls discipleship and being a believer in Jesus, being an apprentice. Following Jesus is something that you do, a practice as much as a faith. You know, that was kind of fun to read last night. Yes, I have faith. Yes, I believe in Jesus, but it's also something that you do. It's a practice as much as a faith. That kind of, to me, gives us some daily things to do to put into place. See, that's what I wanted with the food thing. And that's what I was given in Shebolath. What should I do daily? At their core, the practices of Jesus are about a relationship with the God he called Father, and all relationships take time. Okay. Then he started talking more about spiritual disciplines. Spiritual disciplines are all habits of your mind and body. John Mark Comer likes to call spiritual disciplines practices of Jesus. Well, learning to control your eating and be content in that, and we're going to talk about that in a second, is, I think, a practice of Jesus that we should be continually trying to see. And the word practice is used here. We don't have to have perfection, every single day. Now, we call it a perfect day in Shebolath because that's a concept, a conceptual name, but there's certain things that you do to get that right so that you can get the results that you want. And let me go back to this little note. Every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. And Shebolath is a system. It's a management system, and it is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. And if you follow, it gets results. Okay. Through discipline, you become the kind of person who can do something that you previously could not do. Think about that. Are there things that you want to be able to do that you could not previously do? It's discipline that helps you become that person who can now do things that you were previously unable to do. Here is Dallas Willard's definition of a spiritual discipline. The disciplines are activities of the mind and body purposefully undertaken to bring our personality and total being into effective cooperation with the divine order. They enable us more and more to live in a power that is, strictly speaking, beyond us, deriving from the spiritual realm itself. Wow, that is amazing. I know that I want to become better in tune with these spiritual disciplines. When John Mark Sabbaths, he takes a Sabbath every week, and that's where I got that I'm going to be doing. He runs each activity through a twin grid. Is this rest or worship? And if it's not rest or worship, he says hold off. Joshua Becker defines, then minimalism, talking about minimalism as a lifestyle to ruthlessly eliminate the hurry. Joshua Becker defines minimalism, and I loved this definition because it's not just a design style, okay? The intentional promotion of the things we value most and removal of everything that distracts us from them. Just think about that. So living more simple, or some people call minimal, living more, just call simple. The intentional promotion of the things we value most and the removal of everything that distracts us from them. I think about that intentional promotion of the things we value most. Write down the things that you value most. And then think about the things that need to be removed that distract you from those things, and remove them. That's very concrete. I like concrete. The goal isn't just to declutter your closet or garage, but to declutter your life, to clear away the myriad of distractions that ratchet up our anxiety, feed us an endless stream of mind-numbing drivel, and anesthetize us to what really matters, the distractions. The goal here is to live with a high degree of intentionality around what matters most, which for most of us, I can't read my own writing. Which for those of us who apprentice under Jesus is Jesus himself and his kingdom. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me is about living in contentment, not about overcoming some Goliath in your life. Contentment isn't the negation of desires. It's living in such a way that your unfulfilled desires, y'all listen to this. I'm going to start over because I want you to listen. Contentment isn't the negation of desires. It's living in such a way that your unfulfilled desires no longer curb your happiness. We all live with unfulfilled desires. This doesn't mean we can't live a happy life. And then it talks more about that gamification that I was talking about yesterday, turning personal growth into little games. And it says live gamefully. Be on the lookout for little games to play, fun, creative, flexible rules to slow down the overall pace of a hurried life. And then they give a whole list of them there, but I'm not going to read through those. And then something I wrote down about meditation, and we're not talking about meditation in the New Age type of realm, but Tim Keller but I love the way that Tim Keller describes this meditation. Tim Keller describes meditation as persons who meditate become people of substance, who have thought things out and have deep convictions, who can explain difficult concepts in simple language, and who have good reasons behind everything they do. Many people do not meditate. They skim everything, picking and choosing on impulse, having no thought out reasons for their behavior. Following whims, they live shallow lives. So when I teach Shebolath, in the very first lesson I often teach is this is not something you can skim. Now, the basics are really not that hard. If you look at that shield and apply the water, the journaling, the portion control, and the timing, even if you don't know quite about the food combinations, you would still have success. But it's still not something to skim. When you get your hands on information, read it from the first word on the page to the last word on the page, and read for understanding, not skimming. A lot of skimmers in this world. And we made up, I think it was Patricia, but she said skimmers don't become slimmers. But then the other thing that I say about it, it's not cafeteria style. You can't pick, I'm going to drink my water, but I need more portions than that. It's not cafeteria style. You can't pick and choose those. It all is a system that works together to get the results that it gets. Nicholas Herman, the Parisian monk, better known as Brother Lawrence, called this way of life the practice of the presence of God, because it takes practice to live from attention and awareness, and especially in this modern world. And one of the things that Travis has been saying in some of his videos is, I love living awareness, knowing awareness. It all goes together of being aware of what you're doing. And the goal is practice, not perfection, multiple times a day. And this is specifically talking about the unhurrying lifestyle, ruthlessly eliminating hurry. Multiple times a day, John Mark slips back into hurry. The gravitational pull is overwhelming at times. Think about that. In his desire to unhurry, you kind of go slip back. I slipped back into wanting to pick up my phone a lot more. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. So then you put it back down. You have to start to train yourself for that. And then with Shebolath, thankfully, when we have a holiday, we're not off the plan. It's when you go over your number of holidays that you just need to get back to business, okay? So have what we call perfect days and holidays, but when you feel that draw during the day to go to something else, recenter very quickly. And I'm going to leave y'all, before I see who's talking on here, with my observation from yesterday. So yesterday, I ate too much when I got home. And then I laid down, watched some Family Feud. And then I got upstairs and I said, why am I laying here watching this television? I came upstairs and started doing some more study. He's got a workbook on the living an unhurried life. So I started working through that. And when I was working through that, an observation that I came up with is when I overeat, I am not internally. Okay, let me tell you why I started this. I was doing the section of the workbook on silence and solitude. Silence and solitude at specific times during the day and at periodic times during the week and in the month and then like quarterly. He's talking about you need this and that Jesus lived that lifestyle. So anyway, he was talking about silence and solitude. And here is what I wrote. When I overeat, I am not, okay, let me go back to something else. Silence and solitude come in two different forms. Internal, when you kind of silence what's going on in here, and external, just getting rid of noise and other things in your world. It's much easier to do the external than the internal because our mind and everything is always running. But this was my observation. When I overeat, I am not internally silent, calm, or centered. I don't feel mentally or emotionally restful. And there is yet another reason to not overeat for an unhurried life. So I don't know if y'all feel that way, but sometimes when you overeat, you then feel this sense of, I don't know, me. I noticed it yesterday, and it is before. I just was the perfect timing to be doing that and have overeaten yesterday. And so I thought, wow, I'm not internally calm. And if I want to live that unhurried life, it's not just in actions, it's also in the things that you do that create an environment in your body, mind, and soul, in your heart, your emotions, and all of that. All right, who's on here with me this morning? Hey, Colleen, good morning from Michigan, having a perfect day. Hey, Jonathan, IMF day for Jonathan. Good morning, Julie. Hey, Kathy, good morning from Michigan, having a perfect day. Hey, Michelle in Carrollton, having a perfect day. And Julie in Indiana is having a perfect day as well. Good morning, Charlene from Michigan, having a perfect day. And Dana, Mulvane, Kansas. Diane says, day 4 of Battle Buddy, IMF day, and she shared. Y'all, thank you for sharing. Click that button, please. Ended up with a holiday yesterday, too, but only up 0.8. That's good. I think because I drank my 128 ounces and didn't hog trough. Yes, that is very, very important. Very important. Hey, Lori, good morning. Having a perfect day with 128 ounces of water. That's awesome. You know, this water keeps you busy, okay? Water keeps you busy. So it's a great way and strategy to have that perfect day. Good morning, Polly. Hey, Rachel, perfect from Rocky Top, Tennessee. How fun is that to say? Reminds me of the song. Hey, Chris, good morning. IMF day in Jacksonville. Sis is doing well. Awesome. Good. Doctor said he got everything they could see. Oh, and she may come home today. Awesome. Praise the Lord. Yes, I continued to pray for her yesterday. Chemo resumes May 3rd. Thank you for your prayers. You are welcome. Good morning, Cindy. Perfect day in Virginia. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. I didn't get notifications today. IMF Day in Clarksville, Georgia. Yeah, it seemed a little slow for people to come on come on here this morning. So I think Facebook had a moment. Good morning, Paula from Georgia. IMF Day, having a perfect day. Valerie from Indiana, having a perfect day. And Diana says, Dear Lord, help us to live a simple but gainful life. May I apply your will to my life every day. Grant me wisdom and discernment. Love that declaration, Diane, and prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, Monica in Lawrenceville, having an IMF Day. That is awesome. And Lisa from Arkansas. Awesome. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, Michelle from Somerville, Georgia. Fantastic. Having an IMF Day. And Suzette, IMF Day in Southeast Kansas. Going to be a warm 78 day. Enjoy that. That's like my temp right there. On it with a like little air movement, not a lot. I'm just talking a lot little. 78. That would be perfect. Y'all, I didn't do the 365 names, titles, and attributes. God who sees. He is a God who sees. And he's a God who sees everything. And let's talk to him about the things that are going on in our life. And let's enjoy that he is a God who sees and can help us in all of our times of need. And I was going to thank you, Chris. Thank you. I was going to say something else. And then, today I'm going to have lunch with my friend from my previous job, All Reef Solutions. She actually had a baby and had turned in her notice at All Reef Solutions. And she is a wonderful graphic artist. And I'm like, I need you to come work for me at the magazine. Not like working full time, just a little on the sly. Not on the sly. What did I mean? Contractor type stuff. So anyway, I am going to go have lunch with her about that. Thank y'all for typing that in. Appreciate that very much. And y'all have a great day. Please practice journaling this morning, writing it before you bite it, and having a perfect day. Practice it the best you can today. And I will see you tomorrow morning for the Shibby Show. And if you're watching on replay, please type in #Shebolath for his glory. Bye, everybody.